Welcome in, Charger Media. Dan Gardley joined alongside veteran defensive back Ichimo Opara. Fun day, obviously, but biggest thing to know, first week of camp in the books, how's it feel?
Feels good. It was definitely a struggle. Soreness, waking up early, going to bed late. But I'm glad to be done the first week, especially with my teammates. We've built a real bond here, so I'm happy to continue what we've got going on and bring it into the season.
We talked a little bit earlier in the summer, near end of May, kind of all the craziness that's kind of been happening. Obviously, the transition to Division One, the change of the schedule, all these things, and now you're in a spot where season's here, right? We're in the heat of things. Now that it's finally here, does that feel like a little bit of a weight off the shoulder to just focus on football at this point?
Yeah, definitely weight off the shoulders. I know my shoulders might look a little big right now, like there's weight on them, but definitely a weight off the shoulders. I can't wait to just play the first game. That's when I really feel like we've made it, and there won't be any more nervousness, any butterflies, like I've said before in a previous interview. So, yeah, I'm ready. We're ready, and I can't wait for it.
A guy who's been here, but this year obviously different from years past for obvious reasons, from many of them. But one of the biggest things is defensively learning a new scheme under a new regime as a head coach, but a defensive coordinator. You knew that was going to be the case earlier this year with Powell coming in as the DC, now as the head coach. Kind of touch on that a little bit, on what has been maybe the biggest struggle or maybe the biggest positive working under Coach Powell and new defense.
Um, I mean, Coach Powell, he knows what he's doing, man. He knows football. The defense is great. Like, I love how he runs it. I think that the biggest struggle was obviously everyone learning the defense in a matter of time before the season, and also guys playing in the right spots because guys were in previous spots in a whole different defense. So switching to a new defense, you got to find the right spot for guys. Right, everyone's switching around. So you feel me? You just got to put your trust. You have trust in coach and have trust that he knows what he's doing. The positive I would say is we're coming after teams. So I can't wait for that. So yeah.
Kind of take me through yesterday, right? First day actually hitting, first day in full pads, and that's the day, as a defensive player, that's the day you dream of, right? That first day where you can go out and hit. And kind of just take me through the day yesterday.
Had a lot of I was just ready. A lot of built up. I would say a bad taste we had from the spring game because the defense we didn't play that good in the spring game. Just learning a new defense, so it felt good. We were all pretty antsy, ready to get on that field, ready to go hit. So I'm happy that we finally got to the point, got to that point where we're hitting, we're competing, and I love the offense. But for right now, they're our opponents until August 29th. We play Maris, so yeah.
Defensively, not only a new scheme, a lot of new guys on this side, especially on uh, the side of the defensive backs. So you being a veteran guy, bringing back some guys from last year, but new guys coming into the fold. How's it been working with them and kind of anyone on the defensive side as a leader you'd like to highlight?
Good, man. We got some guys to replace some guys that we lost. Guys like Brody, Mason, guys at the corner spot, Nike, Cal, and guys. We have our returning guys still in Dre, Dante, Liam, Miles. So we're all ready to work. And there's definitely people I didn't name, but we're all here. We're all competing. We all want to play, and we're all hungry to play and ready to make plays. So it feels good to know that we replaced what we lost, and I'm ready to just show what this new team can do. But we'll never forget the past charges. You feel me?
I mean, at the end of the day, you can't forget that. Look at what's on the hand, right? Uh, You got the rings on. Now this year, that kind of ties in perfectly. The goals of this year, maybe individually for this team, kind of from an outside looking in perspective, take me through that a little bit. Things you're looking forward to, maybe more goal oriented away from just winning.
Besides just winning.
I mean, that obviously
Yeah,
counts as
definitely.
well.
We want to go undefeated. We just want to show people that New Haven. This is a change that should have happened before. New Haven, we've been able to compete at the highest level, and I hope that we continue to just grow as a program. And it's crazy because from what I've heard from alumni, how the program used to be. Like we used to lift in the basement, be in the basement. So it's kind of just cool to see where we've come, and we're really playing for guys, the people who have been in this program in the past, people who have donated to this program. So I can't wait to do that for them. I feel like the biggest goal we have this year is to just put New Haven on the map for them.
Going into those first couple days of camp, was able to be a part of some of those meetings, and you heard Coach Powell mention his why. If you don't want to share, you don't have to, but your why, if you kind of have figured that out yet.
Yeah, my why it's always gonna be family. Also, just coming from a home where it was just me. It was me, my two siblings, my mom and my dad. But everything they sacrificed for me to be able to play football. Because I didn't start playing football till my sophomore year of high school. My mom was always scared. I just wanted to show that like her letting me play wasn't a mistake. You feel me? That I could take it as far to the next level. So I have to say my why is my mom. I love her. She sacrificed so much for me, and my dad has done the same. So, and the rest of my family, my aunts and uncles, so they've done so much for me to get to where I am right now, and put in their resources into me. So I just want to show them that I could take it this far.
Chima, appreciate your time. Best of luck this season. Best of luck with the rest of camp, obviously. Really appreciate you taking the chance to sit down with me. Charger Media Day continues. We'll be back in just a sec.
It will. Hey, go Chargers.
Let's go! Run away!
Welcome back, Chargers Media Day. Garrett Lee joined alongside quarterback A.J. Duffy. A.J., this has been a very interesting year for New Haven, and obviously a little bit of an interesting year for yourself coming here. So kind of just touch on that a little bit. First couple of months and so on and so forth here with the Chargers. How's it been?
It's been a blast, honestly. It was kind of a little madness after spring when we were making that transition, but I mean, now everyone's fired up to be D1 and just start to play some better teams, and everyone's fired up for what's to come.
Well, with that, obviously coming here to New Haven and everything with the past and now to this point, it kind of take me through the decision to be here and what kind of stuck out about this program and about this university for yourself.
Just the culture of winning. At first it was Coach P, seemed like a great coach, really connected with him, and then when I got here, just great players, just the support from the school, just kind of everything. It's kind of why I wanted to come here.
And then kind of going along with that on the coaching side, right? Powell, obviously a very defensive-minded guy, but bringing in Coach Zetz and been able to watch camp. You guys are obviously very close in that relationship. Kind of touch on that relationship, what he's meant to you in the first couple weeks and months being here, and actually install and work on stuff like that.
Coach Powell and Coach Zetz have been great. Obviously, I spend more time with Coach Zetz. He coaches quarterbacks and he's the OC.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's great just to learn from a guy who has that much experience in the NFL and just coach that many great players. So, it's great to be able to learn from him every day.
What does that mean, a guy coming with that much experience and a guy like yourself who's obviously having that goal in mind long term, a guy that wants to play at the next level, being with a guy who's been there and done it? How has that been, those experiences that he may have passed down to you throughout the first couple of weeks or something like that?
No, yeah, it's super cool. Even our offense that we're running now, it's super NFL-like. It's wordy, and it's just I feel like it's going to prepare me well to be able to take that next step.
It kind of seems like the offense, at least in practice and install, a little bit pass-heavy. It's definitely seemed like it's been more of an NFL offense, a more pro-style offense than in years past. It's been an offense last year, averaged 200 yards a game on the ground. This year kind of seems like it very well could be the opposite, where the passing game becomes more of a focal point. Kind of touch on that, if that's an exciting part of the past couple of weeks and then going into the season.
No, it's super exciting. Go out there, chuck it around, but we also have some great backs,
Yeah.
so I think that's going to be hard for some teams to handle when we can throw and run the ball effectively.
What's been the most exciting part of camp starting, being in the weight room, doing all this, and now actually being in a spot where season's week and a half away, essentially?
I would say just the most exciting parts are just when we're out there practicing because, I mean, it gets kind of slow during the days with just meetings and walkthroughs, but then going out there and being able to practice all the new stuff we're running is just super exciting for all of us.
Being around this group of guys, I feel like it's, even though a lot of these guys are new, you yourself, a new guy to the fold, have gotten very close and cool things during camp. Touch on two of them in a moment, but that culture and this group of guys, how has that felt just gluing with this group compared to maybe places you've been previous?
No, yeah, we definitely have a great group of guys here. It's just we all love each other. We love football, and we love hanging out. It's cool. Like even in our off time, I find myself going over to some of the guys' house and just chilling, which I've never really done at other schools. I would just always go back to mine, but I do definitely feel like we're close here. We're all connected.
And with that being away from home, it's been something you've been around before, going a couple different places, and obviously going to high school in Florida. But now, I would think a completely different part of the country than you've been in the past. What's West Haven, what's New Haven been for you? What's Connecticut been like in first year or so being here?
It was definitely a change of pace
Yeah.
for life, for sure. I got here in January. It was super cold, so I was not used to that. But, I mean, shoot, ever since May, the weather's been pretty beautiful. Good people, great food. Pizza in New Haven's the best I've ever had.
I was gonna say, I'm a little biased. I'm a Jersey guy. New Haven pizza started to get going for me. But where's your go-to spot
I would
for
say
pizza?
Sally's.
Sally's.
Yeah, Sally's is my spot.
Sally's gets the AJ Duffy endorsement. I'll tell you that for
Yeah.
sure. Two things during camp and obviously during summer workouts that I thought were very interesting. Yesterday, Powell bringing the ice cream truck, the water balloon fight. Having a coach that is so very pro-ready, pro-mindset, but knows how important that stuff is as well off the field, keeping you guys there. How has that been? How cool has that been for you to see just from a player perspective?
Yeah, it's super cool when the coach he just looks out for us and he wants us to have fun. He knows that we're grinding. He wants to reward us. So it's super cool that he's thinking about us in that way, where he totally doesn't have to do that. So we really appreciate when he does stuff like that.
What was the ice cream order?
Oh, bomb pop every time.
Bomb pop?
Yeah, that's my go-to.
I'm a Chipwich guy. Chocolate
okay.
chip cookie sandwich, nothing like it. Final thing to leave you with, had a chance to be in meetings earlier this week. First couple meetings, I believe it was the second meeting maybe. And the Coach Powell, he talks about his why. That's obviously a powerful statement, why he does it. And he's mentioned that he knows everyone here has a why. You don't have to share with me if it's a personal thing, but I'm curious, what's your why?
Yeah, that's a good question. And after Coach Powell brought that up, I mean, you think about your why, but I never really sat down and thought about it. I think my why is just to make my parents proud and my family. Like, they support me in everything I do, and they're always there for me, and I just love making them happy and putting a smile on their face, so that's my why.
AJ, appreciate your time. Charger Media Day continues. When we come back, we'll talk with the Chargers head coach, Coach Powell. Once again, AJ, thank you for your time. Chargers open up against Marist the Red Foxes August 29th, the 77 Classic. We'll be back in just a moment.
There is a power in you, just waiting to be tapped. A voice to be amplified. A vision to unlock. And the University of New Haven is ready to flip that switch. We are 9,000 makers, instigators, and doers, here to make tomorrow happen, with market-ready programs to change your future, and a community of changemakers to take on the world. U New Haven, power on.
Well, you're back in Charger Media Day. Garrett Lee joined alongside interim head coach and Mark Powell. We kind of mentioned it a moment ago with AJ and Chima, but this is now the point. All the other stuff, it's off your shoulders. It's time to play football. How does it feel 1 week camp down?
Yeah, it feels awesome. You know, it's awesome to kind of get back around the guys on the grass and be able to run around and fly around and see who we are as a team. You know, continue to grow every single day, and we're just trying to get better at everything we do as a team right now, and it's been great to have everybody back.
On top of, before we go into football and what we actually want to talk about, everything else. I mean, I could say it feels like a weight off your shoulders, but if anything, honestly, it feels like more stuff has kind of come to the fold once we start football. So how's that been kind of dealing with that on top of camp as well?
Yeah, just trying to make sure that ultra organized. That's the biggest thing, right? I talk about all the time with organized chaos, right?
Yeah.
Being able to handle it all, and within this new seat, there's new things that happen, and learning a little bit every single day, and that's what makes me grow. That's what's going to make me a better coach and be able to make these kids the best versions of themselves. And we just have to find a way to get it done.
Well, now going into, again, right before we go on the field, I know you're dying. The meetings, the work through that, the structure of the actual day of camp. It's 2-3 hours of actual practice on the field, and then everyone's with each other the whole day. It's a very pro style of way to work a summer camp, a training camp. Kind of mention that, how that's been for the guys, how that's been for you, someone who obviously wants that, and seeing how they're able to respond to that.
Yeah, the guys have been great. We're running this like an NFL camp. I think the guys have really appreciated that too. It's, when we're working, we're working. When you're off, and being able to really rest, rehydrate, recover, and be able to do those types of things. And they've been really appreciative of that. We're not going to just burn it on both ends to burn it on both ends, because we're in training camp. We want to make sure that these guys are healthy going into the season, and they've really appreciated, all the team bonding stuff we've been doing, and understanding the why from our coaching staff, and our players are, stopping in and talking to each other, and they're really getting to know each other, not just as a player, but as a person.
Was able to be in the meeting rooms earlier in the week, and hope to be there the rest of the way as well. But the one thing that stuck out to me as an outsider looking in is the why, and that was the big thing, day 2 or something like that. You went out, dressed the entire team, and told them your why. How important is that for you, not only to share your why, but for them to know you're an open book, you're a guy that you can tell me all that stuff as well?
Yeah, I think it's really, really important, because, you have to, like I told the team, right, I'm Coach Powell, and that's what, everybody's going to address me as, but I'm also Dad, and I'm also Mark, and understanding that I'm a person too. And that's why, I appreciate when the kids all come over the house and they see me around my kids, and, when they're tackling me on the field, and, they understand why I do what I do and the way I am. I think that's what's huge for our guys, and just for them to understand, nothing in this life is easy. Nothing's going to be given to you, but when I have to make a personnel decision, when I have to make a staff decision, when I have to make a position change with somebody, it's going to be in the best interest of them first, right? The first thing I told those guys was my why was everybody that was sitting in that room, and the staff and their families, and then my family, and, Steph and Mason and Hunter, and understanding the why behind it is it's a bigger picture. It's bigger than ball. And once they understood that, I had a bunch of players that came up to me. I was like, Coach, that made me relate better to you. Like understanding the why behind it. I'm not just having our shirts tucked in and walk through for no reason. I'm not toes behind the white for no reason. I'm doing it because there's a bigger purpose.
Well, let's talk football. Let's actually get onto the field.
Let's go.
Saturday, I believe. Firstly, fun thing, brought the ice cream trucks out. I mean, that goes in the team bonding aspect. But something talking about on the field part of it, I thought the defense looked really good on Saturday. And seeing that, kind of see this install really come into fruition, and the guys really step up. The good day of practice, first day hitting. How cool was that for you to see?
Yeah, it was awesome. Like I told our guys in the spring when I got here, they're going to be drinking through a fire hose. I install everything, and then, back, it was awesome. We were able to be here in the summer, you reinstall it. And this was really the third time they heard it, and then by the end of it, they were like, Coach, we got you. Like, let's go play ball. And now they're asking me questions that are next level questions, not base install questions. Now they're really starting to think like me, and that's when, defenses really, I think, flourish. And I think, guys are stepping up. I think the transfers have, gelled well with our team on the field. And I think, as this thing progresses, the first scrimmage is always, leans a little bit heavier defensively, just nature of the beast. But, the offense had a couple that spit, for long runs as well. So it was good give and take, from goal line to red zone to the scrimmage.
Defensively, obviously, last year, this is a program that's been top of Division II for the past decade.
Yeah.
Now you're in a spot with a little bit of a different install. It doesn't necessarily look like a drop-off is in the cards with things looking so different. Mention that group of transfers. Out of those guys, who's been a guy defensively that stood out to you?
Yeah, they've really all stepped up. They've been really doing a great job. I think, Luke Kelly up front's been doing a nice job figuring out the defensive line. Kenny Seymour's been doing a good job. John Suala's been figuring out his way at nose. Then you look into the back end, right? You have, Mason Taylor, who's been able to play multiple positions with us in the secondary. You also have Brody Williams, who's been kind of the jack of all trades, being able to play safety, overhang, corner. He's been doing a great job. Nike's been doing a great job. And the thing that I look at is, on the field, all of that stuff is great, but it's actually being able to see them gel with the players, and actually I don't feel like there's a separation between the kids that just got here and, the team that was here in the past, right? And summer has a lot to do with that, and I give our administration and, Devin and Tiffany and Ashley and President Frederickson a ton of credit because that was huge. It was really, really huge. When you make this transition to Division I, there's a lot of new things you got to learn, and they, at the drop of a hat, understood that we had to elevate and we had to level up, and having those kids here in the summer has been huge.
Let's talk about a returner on the defensive side, Chima Opara. We talked with him a little bit ago. He's a guy that no matter what this season was going to look like, you knew he was going to be a big part of it. He's also been a massive part of Media Day. I mean, the dude took 1 million pictures. Talk about him and what kind of guy he's been and what he's meant now as a leader for this group.
Yeah, absolutely. Chima's been doing a great job. He's I define Chima as his smile. He's a great personality. His smile's big. He's a blast to be around, and our guys gravitate towards that. He's a guy that can play a bunch of different positions as well. He's kind of like a Swiss Army knife. I know I could put him in at any spot, and he'll know what's going on. And but his smile is what I always think of when I think of Chima, and that's what gravitates people towards him.
Switching to the other side of the ball, the biggest question mark going into this year, maybe not when you look at it on paper in terms of who can be that guy, but at quarterback, that was obviously a spot. Talked with AJ a little bit ago. How's he been in camp so far?
Yeah, excuse me. AJ's been doing great. He's really he's gelled well with Tim Zetz, our offensive coordinator, and really has run with that. The offense is different. It is different than in years past. And AJ, being a vet that he is and being in different systems, he's been able to pick it up, and he's been able to ask great questions, and that's what we ask for. That's the biggest thing that we tell all of our players, and AJ's done a great job of, is it's okay to ask questions. Understand the why behind what we're doing schematically, and, he's done a great job. He's been doing a good job leading the offense.
Well, you go with that, the quarterback obviously being a big part. This is an offensive unit that running the ball was the bread and butter for the longest time, and now it seems like a very culmination type of spot where the running backs are still there. It's a deep group, but the wideouts, Chandler, Tracy, and then the quarterback, it's a deep group.
Yeah.
Kind of touch on that, the versatility of this offense, and obviously what Zetz has done in his short time now with the program.
Yeah, all those guys have been doing a great job as far as picking up the schematics and playing, extremely fast. It's just different. I think it's just when you have any type of change, it's about, the repetitions of it all, right, over and over and over again. And now that we're through this first week and we're able to get into the, the attention to detail aspect of it, right, like Coach Zetz and I both have the same mindset. You make them drink through a fire hose in the beginning part of camp, and then after that, everybody kind of takes a deep breath, and then you rip and run, right? And that's where you're going to really see it come to fruition. But, Josh, Matt, AJ, all the backs that are back. Yeah. And our offensive line, we've done a good job with our transfers as well there. And the more snaps they play together, the better they're going to get, right? Chica's been doing a great job at tight end. Jaden Schwed has been an absolute hammer. I always joke around with the linebackers in our meetings. I was like, I wish you guys would feel the way he would show up in the hole because, he's different. So.
Yeah. Well, going along with all of that, we're finally in pads. Yeah. We're hitting. We're on the blue. Take a minute to just look and say, how fun is this? Yeah. If football's here, am I right?
Absolutely. The amount of times that I catch myself on the blue and I'm like, this is the best thing ever. Just being able to say, hey, and I tell our kids, you hit the blue, you're running. And that is just my mindset right now. It's, my serenity in life is still the grass, and being able to coach our guys and develop our guys. And they've been awesome. They've been practicing really, really hard. And we've been fortunate, with the weather. We've been fortunate with that so far. So the heat's going to turn up this week, so we got to be able to respond to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always happy when I'm on the blue, when I'm on the turf. But I could tell you, Hey, maybe some shorts for old Gary Italy. Kind of leaving you with this. We mentioned it a little bit briefly. The fun aspect of it after practice on Saturday brought the ice cream trucks out. I'm pretty sure I remember what you got, but if you want to tell the people.
Yeah, absolutely. I got the old school firecracker. So it was. I'm a classic popsicle guy. So all the guys were getting milkshakes and stuff like that. I was a little bit too hot for me. I went straight popsicle for me.
I'll tell you what, an ice cream truck that has milkshakes just ready.
It was big time.
Like,
it was big time.
Like, I mean, that's some next level stuff.
Absolutely. Hey, at New Haven, everybody leveled up, including the ice cream truck. So we were fortunate.
Everybody's now up here, and that goes with the ice cream trucks brought into practice. Coacher, appreciate your time.
I appreciate you having me.
Chargers kick things off August 29th versus Marist and the Red Foxes. We want to thank you all for tuning in, as this has been a presentation of the Charger Sports Network, a Charger Media Day, right here on NEC Front Row.